Hey again. So this video should be pretty interesting. It's about, I'll get my note. Okay. Selecting your own twin flame. Within a soul group, you can graduate through, and once you learn what you've needed to learn, you land at your twin flame, your subconscious leading you through and making the decision for you. That was just my flash of thought when I experienced whatever I experienced to make me think that would be really good to talk about. So what I mean by choosing your own twin flame, because I don't think that I'm experienced enough with this realm to really call what things are called. I don't really know if anybody is. I don't know if anyone really can be wrong. But what I have run into are people that I have such a strong connection to that I can know what they're feeling. If we're away from each other, I know when they're awake. I know when they're going to sleep. I know when I'm speaking to them when they're sleeping. I know when something happens, wherever they are, to make them think a certain way. I know when they're thinking things that are a little bit deeper than things that they would want me to know. Sometimes I know why. And other things like this. I've experienced that with, I don't know what a lot of people are, or what the quantifiable amount would equal to being a lot, but I've had that with really, I wouldn't say almost anybody I choose, but if there's certain people in public that I can have just a chance encounter with. Like there was a guy at a place my mom and I went to go buy incense at, and I was looking at this one box, and originally the brand was from India, and I was thinking about this other brand that seemed to be the same, but it seemed to be like the American version, and I was thinking to myself about it, and when he stood near me, I kind of like got the gauge, like this guy might be in tune. And then he started to communicate with me about the incense, and then I was like, oh, there we go. And then it was like instantaneous, and I can kind of, I guess, tap into this guy now. I don't know if that's a soul group thing. I don't know if it's an extended soul group. I don't know if it's a soul clan thing, but I just, we're always gonna be around, or I'm always gonna be around him. That happens with police officers sometimes, judges, people in my family, friends, people I've been romantically involved with, like in 3D in life, as in a relationship. So when it comes to having thought that I met my soulmate, it's happened quite a few times, and it's been very heartbreaking anytime I've learned that this person is going to be going away, or it's time for you to not have any more correspondence with this person. And usually it's because of something that has happened. And I've described this situation a few times where there was somebody that I was involved in, stopped wanting to have anything to do with them, whether they were a soulmate, twin flame, or anything at all, because I just reached my conclusion. I don't know if that would happen with a twin flame. There's a person that I'm with now, and I can't imagine ever saying, no, I can't be with you anymore at all. And it makes me feel a little foolish and vulnerable, because this person seems to be in a position where they can do no wrong. Is that a twin flame? I don't know. I have a keener sense of perception with this person. I know more. I feel more in tune being in association, in union with this person. I feel like the world revolves around us. I felt that way before, but in a very different way, in a very less intense way. Now it seems like the answer. Now it seems like I just know. And I'd like to say that this would be the definition of what a twin flame is, but I'm really not sure. So with not being sure, I don't discount what it could be, but I think about what else, what other possibilities there are. And what I thought about was that there could be the options of having more than one twin flame, because it's not about one thing being divided into two. It seems like we're all torn from the same fabric, and that fabric might make up a quilt, and that quilt might be this layer of existence that we are on. That's where I am now, because these other people seem to have these same similarities and synchronicities, even life paths, like what we do, how we do things. We seem to all be well suited for each other. We're all in some sort of contact. But I've had occurrences or situations with all of the people that I've been involved with romantically, and there's been about, over the past 10 years, 4 or 5, not necessarily anything that went very far in terms of a conventional relationship, but basically interactions that pointed towards, I'm interested in you more than a friend. And then from there, the kinds of learning happenings that happened, all contributed to what's happening now. And so where we are now, over the past 6 months, there's been about 3 people, including the most current. And it seems like, sorry, I still have fuzz in my eye. Actually, I thought it went away. The most current seems like, maybe it's my hope. See, that's where I stop, because it seems like he's the end of like the searching, and it seems like our mission is very well defined. I've heard about twin flames and that kind of thing happening. I've seen videos and done research about how to recognize, but really with those videos, maybe I feel like they can apply to what the other videos are about when they talk about recognizing false twins. But that seems to be to a much lesser degree. The people I've had interactions with have all been very significant interactions. But I've never had one where both of us felt very strongly like, I'm not letting you go. I never want to let you go. I'm making the choice never to let you go by any means necessary, by any way that we need to do it, no matter how long it takes. I want us to be together. And I've never had synchronized thoughts, like when you're thinking something and then the other person says exactly what you are saying, like over and over and over and over, almost an entire conversation. And it's really like beautiful. I noticed that a lot of my art reflects him and what's happening now. I don't ignore things like that. Instead, I look at it and I'm like, what can this mean now. Could this be part of what's to come? Is it going to be, are there going to be more situations like this with other people? Because things have gotten to that kind of level where everything is just, the ante has been upped. And now I'm in this place of learning about where I am. So, back to what the topic is. Traveling through a soul group to your soul flame, or choosing your own soul flame. That's where my new consideration is that you may have the option of choosing your your twin flame, because the tearing just didn't happen in two parts. The tearing seems to have the potential to have happened from one big part into many smaller ones that work the best when they're all together. But then once you learn everything that you need to learn, you kind of reach a landing pad where that part of the learning is over. And then from there you continue on with the other person who just so happens to be in synchronicity with you. I know nothing about this person's past life. I know a lot about the past life of the person I was involved with before. And as profound as that was, it still didn't matter. So that was another thing that I needed to consider, was not for any reason, but just because, like, for thinking's sake. You know, I made the decision to not be around somebody who I was associated in a previous life with. Even the person that helped me learn things about previous lives in general. Before I even went into this, I had no experience with trying to remember these things. I had not made an attempt. I hardly even believed in it. I just didn't I didn't not believe in it. But I was to a point where, like, that's really out there, you know? And then this cascade of consciousness came around, and one thing led to another. I was just introduced to a lot of information, and this other person, like, knew a lot about what was happening, and it was undeniable. Moving forward away from somebody like that, it makes you just think what the possibilities are, what you may be leaving behind, what your own standards are, what you're not willing to tolerate, how that influences your position within a soul group, especially when other people may be interested or not. It kind of becomes part of your landscape. And yeah, but with this new person, I don't know about that. I just know what I know. I know I want to stay, and I know what I'm hoping for. I know that I'm a little apprehensive and a little scared, but I know that I'm ignoring that, and I'm concentrating on how good things are in the whole scope of it. And that will be my next video. Part 2 of this video is going to cover your union with your twin flame. Separated or not, cooperating or not, together in form or not. Because even though I'm unsure about exactly who my twin flame is, I've been around enough people who have been talking about it, and I've seen a common strife that I feel like I have enough confidence and experience in to be able to comment on. So stay tuned for part 2.